I wake up and I look down
And there was no baby.
and there was no baby.
Oh man.
Listen to me. If I don't know if anybody has ever seen this movie. There was a movie with Jodie Foster.
Yes, I remember that.
And she got on a plane with her daughter and she fell asleep and woke up and the kid was gone. And they were trying to convince her that she did not have a child. Can I tell you? The whole thing flashed before my eyes. Okay? I'm like, somebody stole my baby. Welcome to the Shan and Tam Show. Yes, it is. It is. Okay. So, welcome. Welcome, Shan and Tam fam. It's such a pleasure to be back with you guys again on another live. And we're excited about this one.
We are. We're going to talk about parenting.
It's going to be the story of our lives, people. The story of our lives.
Yes.
So, we're happy to have you joining us. Just wanted to tell you a little bit about ourselves if you don't already know. We are Shan and Tam. And we're just two women who have formed a friendship, formed a bond through our children.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And we're just trying to make things happen. Right? We've envisioned ourselves doing certain things, and we formed that partnership, and we decided to come together and just put our feet to the pedal to take on some initiatives, and we're happy to have you guys be a part of that. So if you don't already know, we have, of course, our social media, which you would be watching us on today. So Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
Right? So our Instagram handle is @Sisters Shan and Tam, and our Facebook handle is Shan Tam Lodge Lee.
It's a long one.
Yeah, it's a long one, but it's a combination of the both of us. So also we had, the last time we were on live, we launched our YouTube channel. Yes. And that's been quite exciting. You should visit our YouTube channel. It's Shan and Tam. That one's easy.
Yes.
Right?
And short.
Yes. Shan and Tam. And subscribe. It's free. It's free, people. Subscribe and share. And like the videos. We have a few videos already on there, which we've gotten amazing feedback about that. They've been quite valuable. It's been helpful for people to be a part of the discussion that we're trying to facilitate. So definitely visit our YouTube channel, Shan and Tam. Subscribe, like, and share.
And hit the notification.
Hit the notifications, but we can't forget that one because the kids would kill us. And another initiative that we have that's not so public is our Women of Worth book club. And we want to shout out the Women of Worth. I'm sure that we have a few joining us today. And it's an international book club.
Yes, we have people all over. Jamaica, Trinidad, in the US. And we're doing awesome work and just really pulling from each other and learning as we read. Because as we know, readers are leaders. And we have to fulfill ourselves and really dive into that. So it's really a great initiative.
Yeah, we've had some wonderful discussion in the book club. And we're looking forward to our next meeting. So today,
we're going to get into the meat of it. We're going to be talking about parenting.
You're right.
So parenting in itself can be such a daunting topic, but it comes with so much joys. And as Tam said, we met through our children. We formed a bond because of our children, and we thought it was crucial for us just to come here, just to be open with the viewers. We posted a lot of things on our blog, shanandtam.blogspot.com, where we speak about different things about parenting, single parenting, and we really just wanted to come live today just to talk about the joys, the highs, and the lows of parenting. So we're going to get into it. We want you to feel free and comfortable, and also to engage with us, because as much as how we're sharing our experiences, we also want to hear from you. So we're going to get into it. So
Yes.
in the beginning.
Let's start from the very
top.
beginning.
So pretty much, so I'll share my experiences of preparing for King. I'm a mother of one. Just preparing for him, the pregnancy and how that was. So I think I had King when I was 25. So, but by that age, I know 24, 25 here in North America might seem young, but I think I've lived a lot of life. Prior to that, working on my own. By that time, I had already completed college and living on my own and doing what I had to do. So, but at the time when I got pregnant with King, I was a single parent. But you know what? God is good, because even in the midst of all of that, I had a community of people around me. I had my mother and my siblings and my aunts and uncle, and everybody was just so happy and just welcomed King. So that experience in itself, like getting pregnant, announcing it. It was my brother Cruz, actually, because we find an opportunity to come together for eat and laugh for everything. And bust my business in front of the family. If you say, oh, Raquel pregnant, it was one big excitement.
By the way, people, stick up in.
Yes.
You hear? There was another name that just got dropped.
Oh, yes, Raquel. Yes. So that is the pet name. You know, we Jamaicans, we have the real name and we have a pet name,
Exactly.
right? Yes, so Cruz actually went and spread my business, but everybody was so excited. So really preparing for King. As I said, even though I was a single parent, I did not feel alone. Like going to the clinics, getting checkups. It was either my mother or it was either my brother, and just preparing. His godmother, Sharon, she was such a support system, and just really preparing for that, like taking pictures. I felt so, I don't know about you, but as being pregnant, I was feeling myself. I felt so good. My body felt good. Just going through that process, reading to King. I was a single parent, as I said, so juggling that, working, and really just preparing for him. In life, things happen, but I grew up seeing my mother doing parenting for the most part on her own. My aunt, Auntie Paulette, and my mom, who I love so very much. My aunt is married now and has a supportive husband, but for most of her life, she was also a single parent. So seeing strong women around me just really gave me the strength to say, you know what, this can be done. So really just preparing for King, getting things together, like spiritually covering him in prayer, because that is crucial. So that whole process, as I said, things happen. You may not have been preparing for it, but really my community really surrounded me and really encouraged me to go through the process, so I didn't feel as alone. What about you, Tam?
So my journey was a little bit different, but somewhat similar.
Yes.
I mean, I had my first child at a little bit later age.
Okay.
I was 31, and so I had my first child here. So now there's a difference there in that you had your family,
Yes.
like your larger
My immediate
family,
yes.
right around you, right? But for me, it was different because everybody for me was back home except one aunt and my cousin.
Okay.
Right? So that was a little bit taxing because, you know, I mean, my aunt, she's always been there to support me.
Yes.
My cousin, we felt like it was just us. But never mind, everybody was still like, everybody back home was still excited, right?
And tuning in and checking on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Especially my parents, because this would have been their first grandchild, right? So it was an exciting time. I actually loved being pregnant.
I'm telling you, things start. You start developing.
Yes,
in
a
places.
lot of things that you didn't previously have, you got.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
So I liked being pregnant. I remember when I found out, my husband was just as excited as I was, because, you know, there were other things too. Like, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but we were quite excited. The journey of pregnancy, like, I loved being pregnant because I could walk into any restaurant and get anything I wanted.
I'm telling you, you're the special one.
Right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, when you're pregnant, like people really, I find people are really, they really pay attention, right? And they really want to cater to you. And I am a person who love my food. Everybody know that. So yeah, and I just liked the fact that it was quite different at each stage, like the trimesters, right? Because you looked forward to the different things, like the first time you'd feel the baby move,
Feel to kick and
yeah,
the flutters,
The
right?
flutters,
Yes,
like-
yes.
So that's one thing, people. For those who might not know, you don't. When you're thinking about first feeling the baby, you would be thinking that okay, you're gonna feel a kick,
a pump, but it just sounds. It feels like
It's
butterflies.
It's like you got
Yeah.
butterflies in your tummy, and I had that feeling for a little while, and I said to my doctor, like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, I'm having these things. He's like, yeah, that's the baby moving, right?
Yes.
So that's something that you don't really know until you experience it, and it's something that you do actually look forward
And
to.
the heartburn. I don't know about you, but I
Yeah.
had bad
No.
heartburn. And morning sickness, it's a lie. Morning sickness is all day sickness. It's not just morning. I was sick all day. I don't know about
Well,
you, Tam.
no,
I
well-
was sick all day. It's not morning. It's all day sickness for me, at least.
Yeah, no. Well, that's the interesting
Yes.
thing too, because pregnancies can be so different.
Mm-hmm.
So with AJ, I only had morning sickness that first 3 months,
Oh, okay.
but with Paige,
It was all day. So that's what I'm saying. It's not morning
Sorry.
sickness. It's
Yeah.
all day sickness.
I had to be on medication for Paige, right? So it's different. It's different.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on here.
Okay.
Yeah. So I particularly like my last trimester though,
Okay.
because then you're really looking forward to baby, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but then it gets uncomfortable.
It gets uncomfortable and you start gaining weight and
Yeah.
everything starts to look different, right? And you feel like, when is this baby gonna come already?
I know.
Yes, you're tired. You're
You-
tired at that point.
Yeah, you get really
You're tired at that point. You're tired at that point.
There's one thing though that I wanted to share with you guys. So, you know, they talk about baby brain or pregnancy brain or what have you. It does exist, people.
Yes.
It does exist.
Even long after you have the baby.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. Like I think you lose brain cells as that baby's brain cells develop, but whatever.
They take from you. They take your energy and your beauty sometimes. They take from you.
From before they come. they're
Before and
taking-
after.
But interestingly enough, so you do things that you don't even realize, right? So I had one day, I think it was a couple of years, maybe a year or so after I had Paige, who's the second child. I went to the hairdresser, got my hair done, but I cut my hair. So over the years, I've cut my hair short, like right, intermittently. So I cut my hair really short, like short. You can just brush it. And I came home and I said to Patrick, I'm like, you like my hair? I didn't tell him I was gonna cut it.
Yes.
And he's like, yeah. Are you pregnant?
Because that was a sign.
I know. But I didn't even realize it. So I'm like, no, why? So he was like, because every time you've cut your hair short like that, you've been pregnant. Like, you're pregnant. So look at this, people. Like, I didn't even realize that until he said that to me. So hopefully you can see this. This is a picture of me pregnant with Paige. Short hair, very short hair, okay? Hopefully you can see it. And this is a picture of me pregnant with AJ.
With the same short hair.
Very short hair. Can you imagine? Like I didn't even clue into that. So, you know, I guess hormones make you do things.
Yes, you go through some stages.
Okay.
You go through some stages. So you know what? It's a joyful experience, right? It can be scary, right? Because of the many unknowns. But we just wanted to share at least one tip from both of us about preparing for the baby and that process. What I would say, just to enjoy the moments.
Yeah.
Just to enjoy the moments, and also to be realistic as well with some of your goals in terms of, I know for first time parents, you probably go above and beyond with buying different things.
Yeah,
and oftentimes, the baby don't use it.
No.
Right? Like, this is bad for me, and I don't think I'll do this on the second time around. But King didn't really sleep much in the crib. We had crib, we had bassinet, right? And then this child would always be in my bed. As I said, don't do this, but be realistic. You don't have to go above and beyond. Like, invest the money, probably an education fund. Start something soon for them when before they're even born, as opposed to going out and buying the 50 million clothing and the gadgets. You know, be realistic and enjoy the moment, because as Tam said, your body's different and you experience different things when you're pregnant. So just enjoy that feeling of being pregnant.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And I would say my tip would be like to get your prenatal care like set up really early. Be with a doctor who's sort of understanding and who knows you, right? Because it's a very it's a very interesting time, and you want to be able to speak freely with whoever is your care provider about the things that's happening with you, right? To get the information that you need, to get real information, and everybody's going to want to tell you everything. I would say get your prenatal care set up really early and be with somebody that you trust.
Yeah, I agree, Tam. I agree.
So a topic that's not such a happy one to talk about is aligned with pregnancy, is actually loss of pregnancy, because I know that we both experienced that, and we have to acknowledge that sometimes, you know, that initial joy and everything, you know, it takes over, and then there might be issues, right? So we just want to acknowledge that sometimes that does happen. Yes. And there are feelings associated with that. And we have to give yourself the time and the space
to heal,
to grieve that loss, because it is a loss. And you know, to try to move forward from there, right? That's just my little bit on that. Like, it's a pretty, it can be a frightening time,
and it happens to a lot of women. Yes. Right? And I know too, I know even from talking to my own mother, after experiencing that, she said, you know what, that is something that happens to a lot of women, and you find that when it happens, then the next one, you will have the baby. Yeah. So it is a part of life, it's a process, but as Tam says, just to embrace it and to embrace your healing, and not to be afraid to find safe space to talk about it. Right? To find safe space to talk about it. But it is a reality, and it happens to more women, and you know, we just wanted to acknowledge that, to say that we get it, we understand, because as Thomas said, her and I have experienced that, and this is just a part of life and the process.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, we had promised you that we do have some giveaways. Yes. And so we're hoping that we have even one man on the line today.
Please don't fail us.
I mean, we're all for the ladies, but today we want the support from the men too, right? Yes. So we're hoping that we have a gentleman on the line, on one of the mediums, that can tell us. You know, we talked about the whole pregnancy period. We know that it can be difficult for you men too, right?
We're not taking that away from you. No. The hormones, the attitude, we're not taking it away.
We can be pretty demanding. So what we want to know is, for a gentleman out there, what is the craziest thing that you've ever had to do for your partner, your spouse, girlfriend, whoever you want to term her to be, while she was pregnant? Whether it was having to drive 3 o'clock in the morning to go find some type of food, because trust me, pregnancy cravings,
it makes you do some things, man.
Crazy things. So if there is a gentleman out there, either on Instagram or on Facebook, we want you to drop us a comment to tell us what's the craziest thing you've had to do for your pregnant partner or spouse?
Yes.
Okay? Or to get, right? Something that was just like really
Out of the top.
Yes, yes.
Sir, please, men,
Yes, don't fail us.
don't fail us. If not, we're gonna put it out there to the woman.
I know. A woman will take the prize, and definitely they'll have something to say
Yes.
about it, right? So we're on to delivery.
Yes. So labor and delivery. Wow. Okay. So I'll start to talk a little bit about my experience. So King was 41 weeks. So he was actually overdue. So the doctor, we had planned based on me going through the process and everything. The doctor's like, okay, I'm going to be inducing you on this particular day. So the day when I was supposed to be induced, my mom and my aunt, my mom was working in the morning, but my auntie Paulette, she took me to the hospital. So went, got induced. So the doctor's like, it's going to take a few hours. At that time, I'm afraid. And the patter is coming. I was like, God, what is this going to be like? I don't know what to expect with the pain. So my auntie took me, and then Auntie Paulette took me to the hospital and carried me home. But she never stopped, went home to cook. And this is Jamaica. This is fun. Cook the salt mackerel and the dumpling and the banana, right? So started cooking. And in the middle of cooking, I was like, Auntie, I started feeling pain. And then she dropped everything and left, right? So mommy came, auntie came, everybody was there. So it was quite interesting because I always thought in my mind, labor, I would feel everything in my tummy area. But surprisingly, everything was in my back. It literally felt like a knife in my back, like excruciating. That's how the pain felt. And it was just coming like, I was like, no, God, me gonna dead. Like, me gonna dead. I'm gonna die, right?
Yeah, and we have to acknowledge, listen, we're Jamaicans.
Yes, so the patois is gonna bust out.
Yeah, and when it comes to storytelling, the patois is gonna come out. So So
it was quite interesting. So my aunt was there, mommy was there, Cruz. It was like a village. So it was funny because there was this nurse called Nurse Claudette. I don't know if mommy's on. I'm pretty sure she's on, but every time Nurse Claudette will come in the room, she's like, another one out.
How many people were there?
Tam, I think after the end of probably about 10 or 15 of us.
Oh my goodness.
So Nurse Claudette, she was so annoyed. She's like, another one, and she was just so irritated. But my family will not move. Auntie Paulette said, me not move, mommy will not move, right? So Nurse Claudette was quite annoyed, but you know what? That's what I needed. And we'll talk a little bit about single parenting. The fact of the matter is the person who I wanted to be there wasn't there, but God surrounded me with an army of people. My brother, my aunt, cousins, King's godmother. So everybody was there. And then King, as stubborn as he is now sometimes, this child would not born. And I was in labor for so long.
Wow.
Mind you, mommy started cry. It was like she was in labor too. So at one point the nurse had to say, mommy, you can't stay in here, mommy, because we look like we have to go help you now. Because mommy a cry, Raquel, Raquel, me can't take it. My mother started crying too.
Wait. And your mom has like how many
Four.
kids? 4 kids.
But to see me in pain, I just see her child suffering and in pain, she could not bear it. So the whole experience was just something else. So the nurse, so I was in labor for so many hours. I think they induced me at 2 o'clock, September 14th, and I didn't have King until 5:26 the following day.
Yeah.
Right? And I was in labor for so long and nothing. I wasn't dilated at all. I think I was like 2 centimeters dilated after a few hours. So the doctor was like, okay, I'm gonna give it the epidural. And my Jamaican mother, no, push the baby natural. I made them get the epidural. I was like, mommy, me cannot take the pain, right? Finally got the epidural. But I think because I was not dilated so much, so when they finally gave me the epidural, King went into a shock.
Oh.
So his heart rate
Dropped.
fell.
Okay.
Yes, and when the heart rate fell, you just hear beep, beep, and the doctors was like, everybody out. So the army had to come out. Everybody out. So everybody had to come out. Mommy could not move. I couldn't move because I was like, oh my God, I carried the baby so far for me to come now to lose him. So that was just the sense of fear. So they pushed, they finally felt his heartbeat. So it was like, okay, mom, he's fine. But I think, as I said, because of the epidural, and I wasn't dilated, and then when they finally gave me the epidural, I went from 2 centimeters to 8 centimeters in an hour.
Right.
So we both went into shock. And kid you not, I was there for the few hours I couldn't move. I sat there like I was laying down. I was just staring at the monitor because I didn't want to risk something happening to King.
Right.
So when it was finally time to push at like 4 o'clock, you see, I remember details because this yes, it was traumatizing. So 4 o'clock now we started to push, but because of the epidural, for any woman out there, you know, considering epidural, your body gets numb.
Right.
So you were numb from the waist down. So I could not feel anything.
Right.
So starting to push, it was quite an eventful situation.
Right.
So I pushed from 4 to 5:26.
Yeah.
And that's when King came. And even so, him wouldn't come out.
They had to literally
They had to pull him out. They had to plunge him out. So,
Wow.
wow, it was something else. But thank God for mommy, my cousin Katie and auntie and Cruz and all my other family members that were there that really just helped to push me, to push that baby out. So King came and it was just a mix of emotions, right? Because as I said, I got pregnant at 24, had him at 25. So you know the body well. Yes, everything proper.
Good body.
Yes, everything proper. So after the baby comes out, your body changes.
Yeah.
Your body changes, right? There's now your tummy
Yeah.
is out there and it takes a while for it to go back.
Right, right.
The stretch marks.
Yeah.
In some places I wouldn't even talk about today. They're all over,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
All over. So going home and that process, and because the labor was so harsh, had to get like specific care, had to be gentle. So physically and emotionally, it took a toll on me. So when I went home and King, actually when I was at the hospital, King would not sleep in the nights, right? So he would be up during the night and then sleep all day. And it didn't even occur to me because after I had the baby, it was like a fog. Like day becomes night, night becomes day. And it was my roommate, because I was in a semi-private room. She said to me one morning, "Ooh, the baby doesn't sleep at all," right?
No.
So it just occurred to me that, you know, I was up all night with him.
Oh, okay.
Right? So, and I was very I couldn't
Deprived.
sleep. Oh my God, sleep deprived and everything. So after going home, and I remember the first time going into the shower to actually take a shower, because I didn't want to do much at the hospital. And when I went into the shower to shower, I was like, it just dawned on me, your appearance.
Right. Yeah.
After I took him home, I was in the shower. And it was at that point, I felt this overwhelming sense of emotions. I started crying. I was oh, wow.
Yeah.
I am a parent. This is it. Because going through the process, because it was such a rush with the labor and delivery and everything, I don't think I took the time even
to
when process. Because even when King came, because he was in distress when he came, they had to rush with him to the NICU. So having that, and as I said, different people experience different things, because you watch the movie, you have the baby and it's so nice and they put the baby on your chest and you're born. No, it's not like that with everybody. Because he went into distress, they had to rush with him. So we never had that bonding time right when he was born. It was after they cleaned him up and they brought him to me and stuff. But even then, I was still so, in a sense, traumatized because of the pain and everything. But it was that day when I brought him home and I was like, whoa,
I'm alone with this kid.
I'm a parent. I'm a parent. And then my body felt different. I couldn't sleep. And I remember at the time, my sister Shannon, she was there with me as well too, and with mommy. King would not sleep in the night. And it was them that were up with him and Cruz and helping me with him. And even then, I felt a sense of nervousness in a way. Because it's like I couldn't sleep, and my mom had to say, "No, you're gonna kill yourself. You need to sleep. You need to get your energy back. So we are good. We will take care of him. You get your rest." And it was Cruz and mommy and Shannon that really had to step in. Auntie Paulette is godparent. Yes, right. And then another thing, because you know about SIDS, right? The sudden infant death syndrome, and I had this inherent fear in me that he would not wake up in the middle of the night. So throughout the night, I would be going. I don't know if you did this.
Oh, yeah, for
and,
sure.
And I check him
Yeah,
chest.
the finger on the nose.
Yes, to see if him a breathe.
And turn him over to see if the belly going up and
Exactly.
down. Yeah.
Right. So even
I get
that
it.
too, and I had to mentally check myself and to say no. I had to check out, but it is a hard process.
Yeah.
And I would not wish anyone to go through that on their own, and thank God that I had the support. I had a community, I had a village.
Right.
As I said, my mom, my brothers, my aunts, my cousins, his godparents. So I necessarily did not have to go through it out by myself. I mean, the emotional support that I would have wanted from his father, I may not have gotten it, but
Right.
God provided it in
Otherwise,
various ways
yeah.
for me. So that was my experience with the labor. And then King actually was born with clubfoot.
Oh, okay.
So after I had him, I had to go to Sick Kids Hospital for like 6 months after that, just to get his foot
Feet, yeah,
yes aligned. And even that in itself was such a fear. I was like, this child is never gonna walk.
Yeah.
Nothing is. But you know what? To God be the glory. And because of how harsh the labor was, my brother Cruz he went with me every week to Sick Kids Hospital,
appointments.
to the appointments
Yeah,
with
that's
King,
important.
right? And he was there, and even when King was born, people was like, boy, you really did hate Cruz, because King looked exactly like Cruz.
Your brother.
Like my brother.
Oh, that's
which is
crazy.
so funny. Come my auntie was like, and people was like, boy, you really never like Cruz when you're pregnant.
You see how Jamaican people
Yes.
can take like a good thing.
I know.
It's
But you know
opposite.
why? He's Uncle Cruz, and he's been
Yeah.
such a good support for King and I. But that was my experience. But what I would say is that to take time and don't take on everything on your own,
Right.
because it's a new process. It's gonna come with its challenges. Accept the help.
Yeah.
Because I was scared, because not to say I thought anybody was gonna do anything to Kim, but you feel like you had to do everything
Yeah.
on your own.
Yeah.
Mental health, postpartum depression, it is real.
Yeah.
Right. So I had to really pace myself, really, and pray. I had to pray, going in, praying throughout, and praying even after King was born, just to maintain my sense of stability and mental health, because you do have times when you do feel alone.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that is just my journey.
Yeah.
It was quite eventful. I don't know about you, Tam.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
mine's similar but
Yes.
different, right? So, like I said, so I've had two.
Yes.
And there were two sort of different deliveries too, right? So I can relate to the long labor, because literally, like for AJ, I started having labor pains, I think, like the Monday, and I think he came like the Thursday.
Oh wow.
I finished my last paper for my master's degree one day before he was born.
Oh wow.
So I was writing a paper and walking to ward off those initial, like,
the
right?
cramps. Yes.
yeah. But yeah, the labor with him was long
Oh,
too.
wow.
It was I think it was about 19 hours.
Ooh.
Now you had a lot of people.
Yes.
I didn't have a lot of people, but I had everybody who I needed. Like I said, my aunt was there.
Auntie, yes.
Patrick was there. Patrick's mom was there. Another family friend
Yes.
of ours was there. My aunt was the one who like really kind of held it down in the room,
Yes,
because like my
yes.
husband too, like mommy,
Mommy.
the doctor was like,
Take a
you
break."
need to leave.
Take a break, mommy. Take a break.
Yeah, and he might be on, so but he knows I'm talking the truth. But he's like, you need to leave because we need to pay attention to her.
Yes,
right?
yes.
But yeah, that labor was long with AJ. And then yeah, so you know how you talked about them taking King away so you didn't have that?
Yes.
And it wasn't that for me. So the labor was long. I had elected to have the epidural
Yes.
ahead of time. So when I think a part of the process too was that once you got the epidural, because you're not as tense, it really does relax you.
So you
I
can
had that
sleep.
same issue too about not dilating. So it helped me to move along a little quicker, right? So the thing was, he came and I was able to hold him.
Nice,
Right?
nice.
I was able to have him there and to have that bonding moment. And then for Paige, that labor was also over days. I made 3 trips to the hospital.
Oh, wow. They need for reimburse you for some gas money.
I know.
When them start work.
I know.
Both of them.
So we made 3 trips to the hospital.
Yes.
And this is 3 trips from Brampton to East York.
Oh, wow.
Okay, because that's where my doctor was. I actually stayed in the emergency labor delivery section overnight one night because I was having so many contractions that they couldn't let me go. And then they let me go. I went home, and then by that night I was back and she was ready. So it's similar,
Yes.
but different. And she came late. She was overdue. And that labor, in terms of labor and pushing, was quick. So, you know, I think it depends. Like, you're never gonna know. And can I say that like having kids, this whole process, and even being a parent, is not something that you can cookie cut.
No, it's not. It's
Right?
not something you can plan for. It's not a
No,
textbook.
no.
You just go with it.
You have to just go with it. Your experience is gonna be different. I've had people say that even with their first child, they labored for a couple hours and they pushed for like 20 minutes, or 2 push and the baby was out. So you never
More
know.
power to them.
Right? But you never know, and so you just have to take what comes for you, right? And taking the baby home too, for me, it was this. I remember vividly with AJ that when he was after he was born and he had his first bowel movement, a friend of mine was there, and she's like, "Okay, you need to come change the baby," and I'm like, "What?" What do you mean I need to change the baby? Like, I don't even know where to start.
I know. It's like a foreign concept to you. Pretty much.
So, yeah, that's when it clued into me that I'm going to be responsible for this little human being. And you better. And you don't know anything. As much as you think you know and you think you're prepared, you have to wait until they're actually there. So, again, enjoy it, right?
Enjoy the moments.
Enjoy it for what it
Yes.
is, and just take it one day at a time. And like Shanique said, having the support is great.
Yes.
Because you will be sleep deprived if that baby does not sleep well, and you're gonna need to take the time to
rest and to get your energy back,
Yeah,
so that you
rejuvenate.
can take care of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So
We asked a few questions.
Yeah,
Yes.
so what we want is, well, the tip that I would leave with people is to say, try to take at least a prenatal class for you to at least be aware of some of the things that to expect with the baby. That's my tip for that, for the delivery. And make a delivery plan, right? Like with my second one, I told Patrick, like, the only word you need to know when I go to the hospital, if for some reason
Yes.
I'm not able to talk, is epidural. That's the
thing.
only word.
That was his rule.
Yeah, that just say
Yes.
epidural, okay? But it was fine, and I did it, and it worked well for me,
Okay. That's good.
right?
That's
Yeah.
good.
So we had the baby. Now what?
Now what?
Now what?
Childcare.
Childcare.
And going back to work. And that in itself, causes so much anxiety too, right? You explore what childcare options look like. When do you go back to work? I don't know about you, Tam, but I went back to work at 6 months.
Oh.
Here in Canada, we
You
get
get
a
a
year,
year, yeah.
and even now it's 18 months. But I went back to work early because I was actually in school as well. So I was doing my undergraduate degree. So I had to go back to work as I was supported. As I said, I'm a single parent, so I did not have that. I wouldn't say privilege, but I didn't have that time to stay home
Yeah.
for a year. I had to go back after 6 months. So it was hard, right? And I remembered King starting daycare, I kid you not, every week he got sick.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Yes.
Just even now, like with regular daycare.
Yes,
Yeah.
so it went from pink eye, and then he had bronchitis, and then he had diarrhea because they're home, so they're not exposed
Yeah, they're in a
to
little
all the
bubble.
germs. Yes, so
Yeah.
when he went to daycare, pretty much like every week he was sick. So daycare, exploring daycare and stuff like that, it was really tricky. But you, at the end of the day, as Tam said, this is not a cookie cut thing. You really just have to pray and trust your instinct as a parent.
Right.
Trust your instinct to say who you're leaving your children with, and also to what signs for things. So King was in he was in a public daycare at first, and they were very in tune to him, in tune to his needs. So great daycare. And it worked well with my hours as well. But it's that balancing of going back to work and taking care of the child, right? And to find that balance, because it is difficult. And at this time now, the children, they're at a different milestone. They're at a different age. So when you could put them to take a nap and you do things, now you have to figure out different things to engage them, to stimulate them around their
Right.
age group. So for me, my challenges with the daycare is how to balance my time too as a single parent with going to school and working, and to find the right childcare provider that I
Yeah.
trusted for King.
Yeah, I think that's a general worry for all parents, right? Like to find what works for you. And I've utilized like different options over the years too,
Yes.
because one, the expense is something that you have
Oh,
to,
it's quite expensive.
right, to think about, because and then you pray for them to get older, because as they get older, the daycare gets cheaper, right? But at that age, at 1 year, so I was home for a year,
Okay.
with both of them, and then at 1 year, it's pretty expensive. It's like a second mortgage. And so you have to look at different options. For me,
Yes.
I know, like with AJ, when I started out with him going back, when I went back to work, he was in a home daycare, licensed home daycare
Yes.
provider. And that worked really well for him. The lady who was taking care of him had a son who was like the same age as him.
Okay,
So
so
they
it
were
was good
like
for him.
brothers, right? And then when we moved out of the city, then I had to utilize a different option.
Yes.
And for Paige too, like I had somebody here who was taking care of her, right? Until she got to school age. So I would say my thing is explore all the options, because it's really an anxiety filled time. You really worry about them. Some kids are more clingy than others. AJ would say, bye, see you.
He was
Right?
more independent.
Yeah, even at a year, he did not care that I left him when Paige would cry, right? So you have to kind of figure out what, who the child is, and you have to really figure out what will work best for you in terms of the different options that you have,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And what will work best in terms of finances, in terms of even commute, because
Yes.
you think about getting up, taking a baby out at like a year or however old.
Especially in the winter time. for
Yeah,
us.
it's a lot.
hard.
So
Can be
yeah, the childcare
demanding.
options. My thing is look at all options, because sometimes too you might not realize that options that you think could be out of your reach, it's actually within your reach, because some are comparable. Like maybe having a nanny, right? Somebody who lives in.
If you can afford
If you
it.
can afford it, right? Versus childcare, like a daycare or whatever. So
Yes.
don't limit yourself. I would say just look at all the options,
That's good.
right?
So we want to probably ask one question about that, and then we're going to talk about blended and single parenting.
Yeah. Do we have any comments?
Let me see if we have any
Anybody?
comments
Yeah.
on our Instagram page. Hold on.
Yeah, we wanted to say like if anybody could tell us like what their childcare
Experiences, yes. We don't have any comments on our Instagram page, but we
Yeah.
have a few people joining us.
Yeah, we want to shout out everybody who's actually joined. Thank you so much for tuning
Yes.
in, right? Like we just want to have an easy discussion today. We were hoping to get some stories from you guys or to
Yes.
get some comments.
Cherie saying awesome discussion.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
Thanks, Cherie. Yeah, so like if you're on and you have kids of your own and you've gone through that whole looking for childcare, like tell us what it was like for you. Was it easy? Was it hard? Like what did you find to be your best option, right?
With respects to childcare.
Yeah, exactly. So we want to talk a little bit about single parenting and blended families.
Yes.
Yeah. So I can speak just from a blended family perspective. Right, so my two younger ones, and then I have Julia who's older, and Julia came to me with my husband when she was about 3-4 years old. So immediately I always say to her like she made me a mother, right? Because she was the one I had to jump into that role for. So I experienced motherhood at that stage, and then I experienced having the baby myself and what have you. But the one thing that I would say about having a blended family, like we make an effort. There is no like step this, step that. There is none of that. They're sisters, they're brothers, we're parents, right? They're all children, and that's just our way of operating. It might not work for everybody. We co-parent well, and you know, we have to leave space for parents to be parents, whether you're a biological parent or a parent by marriage, right? Whatever. And like we have, I think we have a wholesome experience, right? The kids, they love each other to death. And the blended family, it can be difficult, and I see, you know, just with different factors in play. But for us, I mean, it hasn't always been easy, but it's been a good journey. It's been an interesting one.
That's good.
Right?
That's good. And from myself, talking from the lens of being a single parent, you know, I was reading a devotion this week actually about blended families. And in the midst of the devotion about blended families, there was a single parent that spoke about her experiences before she became involved in a blended family. And she said that, you know, she had to really give up the misconception to say that she could do it on her own.
Right.
And this is me to relinquish the power to say, because if it really wasn't for God and my support system, my village, as I call it, I would not have been able to do certain things for King, because single parenting is tough because it's just you. So you're the cook, you're the protector, you're the financial advisor, you're the Uber you do everything. You're the teacher, you're the one that does the emotional upliftment. You do everything right on your own. So it is tough. And King is 10. King is turning 10 next year. He's actually turning 9 in September. And for majority of those years, I've been single parenting on my own. So it is a fulfilling experience. However, it is tough, and one that you really have to be committed to. One thing that I've also gotten out from being a single parent is maintaining that boundary with your child as well. Because I find, because it has just been me and King, right? So you have to find that balance as well to say, listen, yes, I want to be friendly. Yes, I'm here for you. I'm your protector for you, but to find that boundary as well, because you will get a special and different connection, I find, with your when you're a single child and a single parent, because it's just you two. But also to find that balance to say, I'm still your parent, and there's still that element of respect that's there. But beyond everything, from me, the importance of having a village and the importance of taking care of my own self in the midst of everything, because if I'm not able to replenish and to feed into me and to take care of myself, I can't take care of him.
Yeah, that's so true.
Right? So even in the midst of COVID right now, for example, where the children have been home since March and I've been working from home recently. It's just the two of us, and I've recently just started going back out to work. You know, I've had to have conversations with King to say, listen, it's just mommy and it's just us, and you're gonna need to stay with grandma today. You're gonna probably need to stay with Uncle Cruz today. You're gonna probably need to stay with Auntie Paulette today. But these are people, and these people are my village that I trust. And at times as a parent, I feel bad as well because he's not at one specific place.
Yeah.
So it's that guilt that you come to
Yeah.
say, oh my God, your child is everywhere, but he's not with strangers. And the fact of the matter is you have to do the best with what you can and not to feel guilty about it. As long as you know you're doing your best, and that's what I'm doing. I'm doing my best. And even in the midst of all of that with single parenting, I've done so much, right? So really King seeing that journey, and I always say to myself, God knew why he gave me a son. Because when I think of all my triumphs and all my experiences and the things that I've gone through, I had to have someone to really ride with me.
Okay.
And my boy has been there with me. He's
Yeah.
been there with me through my undergraduate. He's been there with me through my master's education. He's been there with me through various things. I remember one night where I was working and going to school, and I got him from daycare, and it was so late at night, and I felt so guilty. But it happens. And I don't think it's just for single parents. I think
No.
it's just parenting.
Yeah.
You feel so guilty because I'm like, oh my God, I have the child out so late at night. But at the end of the day, you have to do the best with what you can. And for me, my reality of being a single parent, that's just my reality. So it's either I can wallow in the sorrow or just roll with the punches and to do what I have to do. So, you know what? As I said, God knew why he gave me a son.
Well, you gotta ride or die.
Yes.
But you know, something you just said kind of stuck out to me that I think you could look at it another way too. I know, like, we do have that guilt, right? Like,
Yes.
my biggest thing with having kids is that you have to like, you're always trying to find that balance with work, your work commitments.
Yes.
You want to balance having some time for yourself too, yourself or yourself and your spouse, your partner, right? And these children are totally dependent on you, especially when they're at a very young age,
Yes,
right?
they
So
depend on
it's
you for
always
everything.
finding that balance. But one thing you just said, now you talked about going to school and studying and being out late and what have you. So I remember at one point I had made a concerted effort to say to myself, listen, as much as I have to do this, because I was studying at one point too when I had Julia, and she was pretty young, like she was 4. And then I had AJ, like I said, he came right as I was finishing my my
Your
second
master's,
degree.
yes.
Yeah. But and I went back to school after that, like I did other studies, right? But I said to myself, I am going to make them know that I am still able to do this even though I have them. Because you know, sometimes you feel like, oh,
feel
I
guilty.
have kids, my life is over. I can't do nothing, I can't. Right? And I said this was gonna be my way of showing them that you can do it regardless of what.
And
is
I
go-
think that was the pushing element
Yes,
for me to
yeah.
say that even though I'm a single mother and
you can't do
where
it.
I came from, growing up in poverty and not having, even though I had King young, but I had mentioned at that time I had already completed a diploma. So I was already doing for me. I wanted him to see, regardless
Right.
of mommy's situation,
You
you
can.
can still do it.
Exactly.
So that was really my catalyst and my driving force to say, listen, not because I have a child, my life
It's
is
over.
It's not
Yeah, it's
over.
not, yeah.
Life continues. So I wanted him to see that, to go on and to do stuff. And it's funny because even just the other day we were talking, because when I was dropping him by my aunt just this week, and he was saying he was talking to the neighbor's child, and she's like, oh, my mom just started working. And he was like, Mommy, you know, she's a home mom. I was like, yeah, that's okay. You
Yeah.
know, some people are home moms, some people are work mom. And
Yeah.
King was like, he said to her, you know, get used to it because mommy's gonna have to work. You know what I mean?
Oh, King know the people
He-
like this.
yes, he's too much, right? So I was like, yeah, King, that's okay. And I was like, yeah, mommy has to work, and nothing is wrong with being a home mom, but this is our situation, and mommy has to work. And I've always engaged him around stuff like that. You see, when you get married, you and your wife will work, and these are some of the conversations
Yeah.
that you guys support each other. So even in the midst of that, for me to say I'm a single parent, I still wanted him to see that you can still
Do it. Yeah, I think that's
Right?
important. So we should
Yes.
pause because our men, nobody stepped up. Come on.
Nobody stepped up?
Nobody stepped
You're
up.
kidding.
Nobody stepped up on Facebook Nobody stepped up on Instagram.
Come on, man. Come on.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give it to the woman. I'm
Yes.
sure somebody is going to answer.
Because
this.
mommy wanted a giveaway. So, mommy, I don't know if you're on, but you need to answer this one or
But
somebody
let's
else.
see. So earlier I
Yes.
said that there were, and we should tell you what our giveaway is actually. So we have a $25 gift certificate from Glamour for Less, and trust me,
Her
people,
products are awesome.
the products are awesome, right? The men, you could have made use of this too, because
Yes.
she does have men products. So we're gonna tell you a little bit about Glamour for Less.
Okay.
So Glamour for Less is handmade natural hair and body products for the whole family. And they use all natural ingredients like shea, mango, cocoa, coconut, castor oil, avocado, just to name a few, right? And the focus is to make products free from harmful chemicals, parabens, mineral oil, and preservatives. And their motto is basically what we put on our bodies is just as important as what we put in our bodies, right? So it's an experience, believe me, people.
And it smells good too.
It smells awesome. So I use the products from Glamour for Less, and they have stuff like lip balm, lip scrubs, lip gloss, facial mask, cleansing bars, whipped body butter. Trust me, you feel like you're in heaven when you're
Exactly.
right? My favorite one is the rose scented one. It's beautiful. They're body scrubs, hand and body soap, roll-on perfume. And for men, there's a line of products for beard oil, beard balm, face and body cleansing soap.
You see, so the men are missing out.
Oh, no, miss out.
Oh, man.
But it's okay. So ladies, okay, so earlier I said that there was something that I did when I was pregnant, right? That Patrick noticed, but I didn't notice. So if anybody can drop a comment, either on Instagram or Facebook right now, the first person to answer, what was that thing that I ended up doing twice that I didn't even realize but was pointed out to me?
Right,
You're going to
Patrick.
get that $25 gift certificate. Okay, so
Sorry.
we'll see what happens. No, the man them lose their chance.
Them lose their chance?
Yeah, IG, we're back.
Okay,
So
okay.
this one is for the ladies now. The men lost their chance, right? So we were talking about our $25 gift certificate from Glamour for Less, right? Natural products. And so the question is, for whoever can answer first, comment on Instagram or Facebook. What was that thing that I ended up doing when I was pregnant that Patrick pointed out to me? Like, I didn't even realize that I did this each time I was pregnant. What was it? Right? He's the one who had to tell
So
me.
Markham is saying that it's not fair because he was.
Too bad. We were here for one whole hour. Okay? We'll think about giving the men another
Yes, we'll
chance.
give you guys another chance,
We'll
man.
think
We'll
about
give you
it.
guys another chance.
So we're waiting for the comments, but in the meantime, and we'll tell you again about Glamour for Less if you missed it.
So we got Laurel says to cut her hair short.
Cut right here.
I know, Auntie. Oh, yes, but it's okay. It's
all
okay.
right.
It's okay. Yes.
So yeah, Laurel got that one.
Yes,
I did
Sherry
cut
and
my
Laurel.
hair short.
Yes.
Yeah, this was if you missed it earlier. Yeah, both times I was pregnant, I cut off all my hair and
Yes.
I didn't even realize it until my husband pointed it out to me.
Okay.
All right, so
Okay.
where are we? So we're going to story time.
Story time.
Story time.
Story time. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about parenting fails, parenting triumphs, right, and some
Parenting joys. Just
exactly.
what are some of the good things
Okay.
that have happened? So,
And we'll start with the parenting fails.
oh mercy.
Okay, so let's start with the parenting fails.
Don't listen. No judgment.
No judgments. No judgments. Okay, so I'll talk about myself for one parenting fail that I can say. And it goes hand in hand with being a single parent. I find for myself, sometimes because you're so tired, you're so tired, and then you will say to the children, you know, I'm gonna do this, especially with respects to discipline, and you don't end up following through. And then what happens is that I was born a winner.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Laura
Sherry.
said she
Yes.
was born a winner.
Okay, Auntie.
Yeah.
Okay. So the lack of follow through, especially with discipline, and it's not something intentional, like you don't want to discipline them, but you're so mentally and physically and emotionally drained. Sometimes you just say, you know what, I just can't with it right now. So you might let them get a blight in essence, or not follow through with what you're seeing. But for what I've learned is that if you say that you're going to do something with the children, and if you say that you're going to discipline them in a way, you have to follow through with it, because that brings an element of respect. I'm not sure about you, T.
Okay, so and for those on Facebook who noticed that the IG had ended, we're back on. So
Yes.
you can hop back onto Instagram.
Yes.
And we just had a winner for our first gift certificate. So parenting feel, mercy. Don't judge me, people. Okay? I have 2 stories. Okay, so I remember I was, this was after AJ was born. He was 3 months old, and I was on my way to Jamaica by myself with this baby. So hubby stayed home with Julia because he had work, and Julia had school, and I was off for a year, so why not go home and just chill for a little bit. So I'm on the plane, right? So you know, the best thing that can happen to you when you're traveling is when you get an extra seat beside you.
Yes, so you can spread
Okay,
out.
so you can spread out. So there I am with this baby, a 3-month-old baby. He's cooing and crying and what have you. Very lively baby. But of course I'm exhausted because this kid does not sleep through the night. So we get on the plane. Happens that I'm in the window seat. There's an empty middle seat, praise the Lord, and there's a lady at the on the aisle. So I'm like, okay, we're going along. Now it's a 3 hour and 45-minute flight
Almost
to
4
Jamaica,
hours.
right? Almost 4 hours. So at some point, people, I dozed off. Okay. So the lady who was sitting on the aisle seat, she put her bag in the middle seat. And I'm like, all right, well, no big deal. I didn't really need the space at that point. So at some point, I dozed off.
Oh, with the baby?
With the baby in my hand. And then I wake up. And I look down.
And there was no baby?
And there was no baby.
Oh, man.
Listen to me. I don't know if anybody has ever seen this movie. There was a movie with Jodie Foster.
Yes, I remember that.
And she got on a plane with her daughter and she fell asleep and woke up and the kid was gone. And they were trying to convince her that she did not have a child. Can I tell you? The whole thing flashed before my eyes. Okay? I'm like, somebody stole my baby. So I'm looking around like I'm looking, because I'm just like waking up, and I look across and there's a woman sitting on the other side of the
she
aisle.
took him?
No, she goes like this and points down towards my feet.
Oh my gosh.
Can I tell the baby? So at my feet was my bag, your carry-on bag that you can put underneath the seat.
Oh,
right?
wow.
So there was a bag there with like his carrying the thing that you used to strap them on.
Yes.
And that was there. The pitney
Fell in the bag.
rolled off my hand, fell on top of the bag, and was there. Ga 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 ga.
Oh, wow.
Goo goo ga ga. I'm like, oh my goodness. So now the woman who's sitting in the other seat beside me, she's like, if you're tired, why you never tell me? Me would I hold it in? I'm like, take up your bag and let me get to spread out.
Exactly.
So she did. She took up the bag.
Oh,
I
wow.
asked her nicely. I'm like, can you move your bag, please? So I actually then shifted positions and turned so that I could put him like laying down on the seat on top of his blanket, and then my legs were like across. I'm like, mercy,
Wow.
Father.
Have mercy. That's an interesting feel. But no judgments.
No judgments. I do not. No judgments.
No judgments.
He's turning 13 next
And
week.
he's still alive and kicking. No judgments.
So yeah, it's like, okay. I for a minute I struggled whether I would tell anybody, like anybody in my family, but then I told people. I'm like, it happens.
It's okay. It's okay.
Shani
It's okay.
is trying to convince me that it's all right.
Okay.
Yeah,
We still
it's
love
fine.
you.
It's fine. So we should actually try to give somebody.
Yes, I give away now. Man or woman.
Yeah, man or woman.
Yes,
yeah.
men, this is your time now to redeem yourself.
Yeah, please shine.
Yes. Tell us about what are your parenting fails.
Yes. If you can let us know what are your parenting fails. Man or woman, put it in the comments. Okay? So yeah, I actually have another story too, but I'll leave that till the end. Another fail. And it's so funny that both my fails involve my son.
Regarding AJ. It's interesting.
Okay. But the joys.
So like, parenting joys. Yeah. Okay. Until we're gonna give the men the opportunity.
Give them some time to drop the comments.
Don't drop the ball again, please.
I know.
Okay. So parenting joys. So I can say, and I'm gonna make a comparison with myself and King. I remember attending basic school, and I remember this vividly. One day my mom, she used to walk with us to school every day. And I remember one day I said to her, Mom, it's okay, you know, I have this. It's okay. You don't have to walk with me. And I went by myself because I thought I was so independent even then as a child, right? Like just doing my stuff. I was like, it's okay, Mom. So coming now and seeing King, sometimes I see so much of me in him with respects to certain things, like how he's out there and he's so friendly. You know, a few weeks ago we were driving and I was busy. I was rushing to get home and we were picking up some stuff from Lisa from Glamour for Less. Glamour for Less. And he saw this homeless person in the Tim Hortons restaurant, and he's like, Mommy, can you just buy him some food, please? And I was like, King, I'm coming, but I'm rushing. Just give Mommy a few minutes. I was like, Mommy, you know, please just do it, because that's what Jesus would want us to do. I was like, King, and I even got frustrated because once he wants something, he keeps pressing to say, Mommy, can you please? And looking at that, it made me feel a sense of joy to say that the things that I'm teaching him is not just going through one ears and coming through the next. He's at least taking in things. And you know, we both attend the same church, and a big thing about us, even as Christians and growing our children, we really want them to grow in a way and to teach them certain fundamental things. So for me, that sense of him having that love in his heart and being such a loving and warm child, that really brings me so much joy to say, you know what, I made that kid.
I can see that. For me, it really is closely tied to our faith too. When I see the joy that I get is like when I see the children say that, especially if they're facing a challenge, let's pray about it. Or if somebody is sick in the family, anybody or anything, they're like, let's pray about it, right? That's where I feel the most joy sometimes, because I'm like, okay, thank you, Jesus. Like, the things that I'm trying to teach this child and the situations that we're exposing them to, it's really resonating, because for us, our faith is a big thing, right? Like we recognize that we're not our source, right? And we rely on the greater power. And for different people, it's different. You call them different things, whatever your source is, whatever your power is. But for us, it's our God. And I feel really good when I see that the kids have really like dialed into the faith, and they really rely on prayer as an outlet. Because I've always told people that having children was the reason that it kind of drew me back into the
Yeah,
thing.
you did say that.
Yeah,
You
right?
did say that.
Because I wanted to do better. I wanted to be better. I just didn't want to exist, and I wanted to show them like different aspects of life, right? So yeah.
And there's a greater sense of accountability.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
as it says, to teach a child in the way he should grow.
Right,
So that
right.
when he gets old, he won't
Yeah.
depart. So
Did anybody give us a story?
no, what's going on with the men? Men, talk
You
about
see? Then complain.
yes, please, men. You
Yeah,
want to put
then-
out the question out there again to give the
So,
men one more chance.
The question was, tell us about a fail. Tell us about a
yes, a
parenting
parenting
fail
fail.
that you had, right? It could be a very short one, a couple lines to let us know what happened. But you're up for getting a gift certificate. So I don't know if people missed it when we were talking earlier when our Instagram live went off, but our gift certificate was from Glamour for Less, which is a handmade natural hair and body product line for the whole family. And they use all natural ingredients: shea, mango, cocoa, coconut, castor oil, avocado. That's just a few.
Yes.
The products are amazing, people. I use the lip balm, the
and I
lip
use the
scrub,
things for my face as well too.
hand scrub. They smell amazing. It really makes your skin feel good. And they're chemical free, paraben free, free of mineral oil and preservatives. So they're all natural skincare products. And you can follow Glamour for Less on Instagram. It's at Glamour for the number 4 less, right? Underscore at Glamour for less underscore. So we'll post it on our page later, right? So any fails?
No men. So we're gonna ask the woman to
Yeah.
talk about a parenting fail.
Yeah, give us one parenting fail that you might have experienced. No judgments, people. No judgments. Okay. So triumphs. I mean, my thing is that we're about to wrap up, guys. So we want to thank you for joining us. But triumphs is for me, it's just the fact that as I see them grow older, like it makes me feel good to know that I'm really doing my best to influence these little humans. And my prayer is always that I have a child that turns out to be a good citizen, a good citizen for this world, whatever that means, by being law-abiding, by being faithful to God, by just living a good and decent life. And like you said, like with King, like having that compassion in their heart for other people. And so when I see glimpses of that in them, I'm like, okay, we're doing good. And it's not just me. Yeah. So my hubby might be on. So we gotta give the credit there
Yes,
too.
to the hubby. Yes, Patrick, pick up yourself.
But yeah.
Yes. For me, I don't think as parents we will ever stop worrying
No,
about them.
we won't.
Right? Or will ever stop praying for them. But when we talk about triumph, as just to echo what Tam said, we really just want to ensure that what we're doing with them, we're leaving a legacy for them behind. Not necessarily monetary legacy as well, but values.
Yes.
Right? So that when they grow older, they can leave that value with their children, those values with their children, and also to be good citizens. Right? I know Tam and I recently posted our video about ADHD,
Right.
and our children being diagnosed with ADHD. So the triumphs for myself, even seeing AJ and King, is their inner strength,
Yeah.
and them being able to push beyond what their diagnosis
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
or to push beyond what society may think of them. And at the end of the day, we just want to have law-abiding, God-fearing
Yes, God-fearing
children
Yeah.
with respect
Yeah.
and morals, so that at the end of the day, God can say, job well done.
Yes, I totally agree. I think we have a story in the chat.
So BBRYNA says that I accidentally left Alyssa in the back seat of my car sleeping, and I came out of the car while I reached home and forgot she was
Listen.
there.
No
That's
judgment.
okay, no judgment.
No judgment. So yes, I know who
Yes.
that is.
Yes,
Yes.
and then
Laurel
Laurel
says-
says, if you promise something as a parent, be sure to follow through. And if something happens that makes you not able to follow through, inform them as soon as possible. I agree with you,
Yeah,
Auntie.
that's so good.
I agree
yeah,
with you, Auntie.
That's so true because they need to trust us, right? They need to trust your word, and it goes both ways. Whether it's something that you've promised that's good, or it's something that you
that's
promised
bad.
that's discipline.
With discipline that I spoke
Yeah,
about
yeah,
earlier.
like discipline, right? So we do need to follow through. Yeah, thanks so much for that point. I don't know if anybody has any questions. We'll give you guys another couple minutes.
Yes.
Our blog for this week is gonna be published later this afternoon. So that's gonna be Beautiful Ashes from my perspective, and we will post that on the pages a little later this afternoon. We're almost at the end of our live. We want to thank everybody for joining us. Should I tell my other fail?
Sure, go ahead. Go
Oh
for
my
it.
gosh. You
Go
see,
for it.
telling your story brings healing and freedom.
Exactly. There's no
Okay.
shame and condemnation.
No,
Speak
absolutely not. So, again, AJ. So while we're waiting, if there are any comments, there are any final comments or questions even. So AJ again. So this little boy now, he was about, I think he was about 14, 15 months. So he ran at 10 months old, right? He was a very quick baby, always on the move and what have you. So this day, evening, Julia was probably about 5.5, 6 at the time, and AJ was about 15 months. So I cannot forget it. I went to the Bay at Woodbine Mall to go try to see if I can find an outfit for this kid to wear to church. Church of all places, okay? And I should have known better. But I had him. We were in the store.
Yes, yes.
And searching through the racks, and I found something. But for some reason, I just couldn't navigate, right?
Okay.
With him in my hand, and Julia was still a little thing, and I didn't have a stroller or anything like that. So I just put him down to reach for the thing on the rack.
Him runway.
Can I tell you? This little boy
Oh, man.
took off.
Oh man, AJ.
And he was so small, you know, like in the store with the racks. So the clothes come down to
Yes.
not on the ground, but at a certain, like a number of inches off the ground. Me couldn't see him.
Oh wow.
He took off,
Wow.
people. This little boy took off. As soon as I put him down, I literally tell you,
For
it
2
was
seconds.
just like not even 2 seconds. He took off. And I was calling for him. And the thing about him was anytime he did that, like he would always run off, he would be laughing.
Because he
laughing.
thinks it's a game.
He thinks it's a game.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Julia, where did he go? And you hear him laughing. And I'm like, AJ, come back. And you hear him laughing. And I'm looking down underneath the things. I can't even see like a foot. So I ran to the entrance and I saw a security guard there. So I'm like, my son just ran off, left. Can you shut down the store because I don't know where he is. I'm calling him, he's not answering and what have you. The guy was like, no, we don't do that. Like we can't. I'm like, what do you mean you can't do that? I'm like, I can't find my son. You don't understand. I can't find my son. So this man was passing by and he's like, you looking for a little boy? So I'm like, yeah, did you see a little boy run by here? People, this was probably no less than 30 seconds later.
Oh wow.
Right?
It was the
From
longest
when
30 seconds.
It was
of
the
your life.
longest 30 seconds of my life. So I said, yes, did you see a little boy? He's like, yeah, I saw a little boy right outside there trying to go up the escalator
Boy, AJ.
in the mall.
Wow.
Miss
Yes.
Steph. So I took off with Julia hot on my heels. When I went out there, I saw him really trying to go up the escalator because he was always fascinated by the escalators. And this woman was trying to pull him back. And she was like looking around. I know this lady must be thinking, where is the mother? Where is the mother?
I know.
So
that's the fail.
I retrieved him.
And it's all good. He's here.
I did not buy the clothes. I did not buy the clothes.
Oh, man.
I was so mad. I said, come on, we are
Yes.
leaving.
Yes.
And again, I almost didn't tell my husband, but we did.
We had to. Oh, man. Okay. So we have Sherry say AJ can run.
Yeah, he
Yes,
could
yes,
run.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
He still can run. He actually does cross country for his.
That's good.
for
That's
his
good.
school.
This was good, Tam.
I know. I
Yeah,
had
this was
fun.
good. This was good.
I had fun.
Yes.
You guys, thank you so much for joining us. We wished you could have told us more. We didn't want to do all the talking, but it was fun.
It was fun and good conversations.
Yeah.
And thanks for all who joined in.
Yes, thank you guys for everybody who joined in. So like we said, follow us on Instagram. If you're already there, good. Follow us on Facebook.
Yes.
And visit our YouTube channel, Shan and Tam. And take a look at the videos there. Oh, we're going to have an exciting video next week.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Which talks a little bit about parenting as well, but it was
Yeah.
our family day trip to the beach.
Yes, so, and the kids are looking forward to it being published.
Oh,
because-
yes, they've been asking.
Yeah, they've been asking. So look out for that video next week. Take a look at the videos that are already on the YouTube channel.
Yes.
Visit our blog, shanandtam.blogspot.com. We will be releasing a blog today, later this afternoon. And just keep up to date with us. Drop us a line.
Happenings. Yes.
Yeah, send us a comment or anything. For future lives, tell us what you want us to talk about.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, let us know what you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
To share your thoughts with us as well.
Yes.
And we're open to hear.
Yes.
Okay.
So we got our 2 winners today. Congrats to Laurel.
Yes.
She got her $25 gift certificate from Glamour for Less. Guys, remember, follow Glamour for Less on Instagram. It's at Glamour for Less _
Yes.
and we'll also post that on our page. And congrats to Brian as well. The men finally did step up.
They stepped up.
Yeah.
Yes, it's all
So
good.
he'll be able to get some of the men's line
Yes.
products. So thank you guys.
Laurel actually said something. She said, Tam, this is not a fail. That happens to most parents' children running off.
There you go. Thank you. Freedom.
No more guilt. But thank you.
Thank you guys. We
Okay.
love you guys. Thanks
Yes.
so much for supporting us in everything we're doing. And we'll see you again next time.
Yes.
All
Perfect.
right. Take
Thank
care. Thanks for watching the show today, Shan Tam fam.
Ensure you hit the subscribe button, like, and share this video.
Send the link to a friend in WhatsApp, Facebook, or even Instagram fam. And of course, don't miss when we post a new video, so hit that notifications button.
Yes. Also, check out the details box for this video for all the links for Shan and Tam's social media and blog pages.